Quin Snyder took over a sub-500 team and built them into winners almost immediately. And Quin Snyder clearly was liked by the star of the team, Donovan Mitchell, because the report, as soon as Snyder resigned on Monday morning, was that Donovan Mitchell is unnerved, does not like this, became very close with Quin Snyder, and was a big part of the reason that he signed a big extension 2 years ago. Now, the Jazz have been a top seed, a high seed, a couple of times in Quin Snyder's coaching career. They've made the playoffs the last 6 seasons, never advanced past the second round, but have had good teams, have been balanced, have been tough-nosed, played solid defense. You know, they've been good. And Mitchell liked them, and Danny Ainge said that he worked hard to try to get Quin to stay. So the players wanted Quin to stay, at least the star did. And management wanted Quin to stay, if we were to believe Danny Ainge. So why would Quin Snyder leave? Well, on the one hand, you might say he wanted the Lakers job, let's say. Or he wanted a different job this year. But he waited long enough to where the Lakers job closed up. Darvin Ham gets hired. And also has a guaranteed contract through this season, so the Jazz could block him this upcoming year. Ainge was asked what he thinks the future for Quin Snyder is and said, I have no doubt in the near future he's going to be coaching again. Quin's explanation is both simple and complicated. He basically said it's for no other reason than this team needed a new message. They needed a new leader. And so that sounds very simple. At the same time, if the players didn't think so and the boss didn't think so, then why does Quin Snyder think so? Why does Quin Snyder think that they need a new voice if nobody else believes that? And that's what makes this really, really complicated. That Quin didn't say, I'm retiring from coaching. And Ainge says he's going to be coaching here soon again. And Quin waited long enough to this offseason to decide this, to where the jobs now have closed up, so he'll be back on the market a year from now, and everybody assumes he'll have a good job if he wants one. So what didn't fit here? And only one of two things I could imagine. Either Quin Snyder didn't like working for Danny Ainge, or Quin Snyder said, I can't win a championship within this organization because our talent's good, but not great, and that won't change. Unless Quin Snyder is the most self-effacing head coach ever and says, hey, these guys need something different, they just don't know it, Quin Snyder either didn't want to work for Danny Ainge or didn't think it could work with that roster. Now, Danny Ainge can be a difficult guy. Ainge has always been an agitator in some ways, has a very good ego, enjoys getting credit. That was part of the equation in Boston for a number of years. That he was a good GM, but he certainly liked to be front and center and certainly liked the credit when it came his way. Is it possible Quin is more under the radar, doesn't like a boss like that? Maybe. Or is it just possible that he sees Donovan Mitchell as a good player, not a great player, and Rudy Gobert the same way, and that the Jazz are just stuck because it's not also a free agent destination, bars close early, and maybe they just go, maybe Quin Snyder goes, it's just never going to be great, and I'd rather win a championship. Now, he's not going to get the Lakers job because I don't think they're planning on firing Darvin Ham a year from now and taking over a Lakers job with a 41-year-old or a 40-year-old LeBron James is probably not where you want to be, restarting your career somewhere else. So It's got to be somewhere else. And I guess a year from now, he'll be, 38 going on 39, not 40, 41. But still, this is a really weird situation. This is a successful coach that people appreciate, that players wanted, that the GM says he wanted, that wants out. Unless Danny Ainge is saying that and actually didn't want Quin Snyder to stay. Unless Ainge is just saying the right things now, but thought that they could be better. But again, this is so late in the process, I don't think you're going to do better as a head coach hiring in June than you would as soon as the season ended. So it's a peculiar situation. It's not an easy situation. Something is happening below the surface that we don't know, but it's not just the surface. It is not. You can't convince me that everybody loves everybody, but just Quin Snyder said, you know what, it's just time for a change. It's got to be more complicated than that.